which is the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, they said to me, he said, I'm doing a presentation, it's called Success is Not an Event, It's a Habit. He said, will you proofread it for me? I said, I'd be happy to. When I was finished, I said, hey Dave, would you be okay if I was to share that on social media? I think my readers would appreciate it. He said, go for it. I mean, it happens that fast. You don't have to write it all. Increase revenue per client by increasing number of A and B clients. No new C and D clients. What are we going to do with the C and D clients? Fire them, trade them, sell them, bring in an associate advisor and pay it forward and take what we have taught and pay it forward. You know, I do the majority of my speaking in the United States, and I'll tell you one thing is different between the audiences in the U.S. and Canada. The audiences in Canada are older. And there's less younger people coming into the business in Canada. Why? Why is that? We can say, well, it's the company's problem. Or it's those associations. They should be looking after it. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Pay it forward. You know the expression, nature abhors a vacuum? Right? If your space is too filled up with C and D clients that you're frankly resenting working with because they're taking too much time and energy, well then find a way to be able to delegate them, bring an associate advisor. Yes, you might be able to sell them in a block of business, but please make the space. Because you've got decades of experience, and if you create the space, you are going to bring in a higher level clientele to be able to work with you. But we got to write it down. We got to commit to the action versus doing the same thing over and over and over again. Just a second, I think I have a new friend on Facebook. Are you with me? You know, I heard somebody say the other day, there's the sarcophagi of the soul. We're being taught what to listen to, what to hear, what to see, how to feel, whenever. And what we've got to do is be able to create our own plan. Our own plan. Because I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of good stuff. There's some good stuff, but there's not a lot of good stuff going on here either. Think about this. How many of you got an Apple phone? iPhone? BlackBerry? It's Canada. Congratulations. These folks love the buttons, right? They are integrated with the buttons. Android users, right? Flip phone users. Don't laugh. These guys are waiting for the next upgrade. I'll tell you what, they're waiting for iPhone's version 13.0. Now think about this. When you don't upgrade this, what happens? What happens? You save money. That's work. Right, because eventually no data will get in, right? It slows down, right? It gets stuck. Question, when's the last time you upgraded your core personal operating system? We spend so much time with these. We got to get our vision, we got to get it down in writing, and we got to take action towards it. Here's another one. Reduce amount of time spent on administration by prioritizing A tasks and delegating B tasks. And we got to change our mind about this. I ask advisors all the time, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in relationship to delegating? 10 being high, 1 being low. Got to get is 4, 5. Well, why is that? Well, I can do it faster. Well, the person's probably going to make a mistake. Why is that going on? And this only happens in the United States, not in Canada, just by the way. We're going to talk about that as we get into it. Action plan statements. I'm going to talk with you more about why as we get into this. Understand that success is 90% about why and 10% about how and what to do. You already know how and what to do. Here's my evidence. Most of you are challenged with time management problems. You can Google time management system for financial advisor professional. You can get 10 of the systems for free. It's not about how and what's going on. It's about why you're not. We're going to talk about it. Next one, give thanks. When was the last time you sat down and you took, in the olden days, we used to have this stuff called paper and a pen, right? And we could write down what we accomplished, and then we could write down how that made us feel. You know, I'm men in the audience, I got to tell you, we're going way beyond, okay, not so bad, and pretty good. We got to increase our emotional vocabulary. So what I accomplished, how that made me feel, what does that cause me to believe in myself? This little strategy, now, sidebar, there's a part of the mind that's going, oh, that touchy-feely crap, it sounds like such a waste of time, why bother? One of the reasons why I'm asking you to write down what you've accomplished, if you do it enough, then you can take the list, you can highlight what you love to do, and then everything else is what you should be delegating. You've just written a job description for the person that you probably need to hire. And stop doing $25 an hour work. Because there's people out there that are waiting to be able to help you. You don't need to be able to bring in 5 full-time help. You can go virtual. I've had 8 virtual assistants working with us for decades. And they're all over North America. They have different specialties. You don't have to do it all. But there's a belief in there. Oh, I gotta do it all because, shoot, somebody's gonna come along. They're gonna make a mistake, and we all know that the compliance department is circling around the office just waiting to pounce in on us. This is only happening in the United States. Not in Canada. Next thing, okay, that's segue you into writing job descriptions, then you write the ad, place the ad. I'll send you a hiring system to be able to help you write the ads and job descriptions, the interview questions, the whole works. I'll tell you about how to get that. It's complimentary. Now, next step is complete your vision, your business plan, your goals, complete with a budget cash flow document. In advance of January, get it done now. And complete your 2019 time management system. You understand free days, buffer days, and focus days already, yes? Here's an example. That's my calendar for September 2nd through to October 13th. And hang on. PowerPoint's changed the color. So the green days, the light green days are what we call free days. Those are days when I'm not working. Okay? The blue days are what we call buffer days. Those are the days when I'm working in the business, not on it. Wait a minute. Back up. That's when I'm working on the business, not in it. So that's usually a Monday for me. The red days are when I'm working with clients. The white days are when I'm exhibiting and speaking, and yeah, I can see where the color in the PowerPoint's throwing this off. And the yellow, darker yellow days are when I'm writing. Now, what's that all about? I'm producing an online product. It's going to launch at Gamma 2019 in Dallas. I got to create the space. If I don't create the space, it's not going to happen. So, right at the very top there, on September 13th, 14th, and 15th, we're at NAFA. And I'm speaking at NAFA, and I run into Gamma, and they say, hey, that's so cool, you're going to be speaking at Gamma Lamp in 2019. That's amazing, and you're going to get to speak twice. And I went, twice? They said, yeah. And they said, nobody sent you the email? I said, no. Next day I got an email. Congratulations, you're speaking at Gamma Lamp for the second time. We want a brand new presentation. We want you to sign the contract. You're going to be doing online rehearsals at the end of October, the end of November, and you've got to come to Chicago to do a live rehearsal January 7th. I'm already booked for January the 7th. If I didn't have this time management system pre-built to identify the space for everything, I could have very well said no. I made the adjustments. It's essential to design a time. Bottom line is, if we don't, it's going to run us. So quickly, we're going to take a look at this one-page business plan, and I'm going to give you a snapshot of what the software looks like. So you get a login, obviously. Now it's taking you through the very tutorial that I just took you through. It's asking you a series of questions. It's showing you templates that you can use. It's giving you examples of other advisors' vision statements so that you can be in a position where you can write your own. That one there, you can't read it, is the one I shared with you earlier. Template driven. You're asked questions, you answer the questions, your information is basically fed into the software starts to write the plan for you. When we get into objectives, there's tabs. This is why it's called point-click plan. There's tabs: financial, customer, process improvement, learning, and growth. There's about 15 things that you can point to and click per tab. So there's about 60 choices. So you want to increase referrals, you want to improve assets under management, you want to increase case size, etc., etc., etc. You click what you want, and then the system populates the information that you want to focus on. Now, you've got to put your own numbers in, but it helps you to do the thinking. The idea is to be able to get a plan, a first draft of it written in 60 to 90 minutes. Getting your best thoughts down on paper versus being consumed by just a bunch of good ideas. I think we have way too many good ideas. And that's all they are. They're just ideas. That's all they are. If it's valuable, and we set a vision, a mission, objective, strategy, and action connected to it, then you'll take action. Now, what I want to focus on is also why. Why do we do what we do, and why don't we? This is segueing into an MDRT presentation that's called the Inspirational Tipping Point. It's also a TED Talk presentation that I originally did in 2013. And I thought, I wonder if a financial advisor audience would be interested in this presentation. Turns out they were. So, I'm here to help you to meet and exceed your goals. Again, emphasizing 10% is how and what to do, 90% is why. And I'm going to be talking about some deep psychological things here. But I want to emphasize to you, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's an absence of understanding of your operating system. That is it. You know the proverb, if you give a person a fish, feed them for a day. If you teach them how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. I believe I'm going to give you a bunch of fish in a very short period of time here. What took me 30 years to figure out. I had been to the top of the personal development mountain, and I fell clean off the other side. In the early 1990s, I owned the #1 Tony Robbins or Anthony Robbins franchise in North America. I was selling motivation. I could not sustain the motivation. There was something that I needed to understand at a much deeper level, and I'm going to share it with you now. Before we get into that. Again, 90% is why, 10% is how and what to do. You already know about business planning and time management and delegation and all the rest of it. I'm just going to stop right there. Let's back up. This is a good time to be able to ask you, what do you want to improve upon? Remember those questions I asked a little while ago? What do you want to improve upon in your business? Now, I know you're sitting here amongst your peers. Right? Some of you are